Hello students and welcome to Smart Kids Tutorials. In this video we will be learning how to find mean using the assumed mean method, or what we sometimes also call as the shortcut method. In this problem the following table shows the marks scored by the students. Marks are given over here, which also become the class interval 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 till 70 to 80. We have been given the number of students who have scored the respective marks over here in that range. So we have number of students: 8 students scoring 10 to 20, 6 students scoring 20 to 30, 15 scoring 30 to 40, 13 scoring 40 to 50, 9 scoring 50 to 60, 13 scoring 60 to 70, and 8 scoring 70 to 80. We have to find the mean, and we have to find the mean using our assumed mean method. So first thing we need to do is find the class mark, and as we know, to find the class mark we need to add the lower limit and the upper limit and divide it by 2. So for this it will be 10 plus 20, it will be giving us 30. 30 divided by 2 gives us 15. And remember, as I said, even when we did the finding mean using the direct method, that the class mark is the number that comes between the lower limit and the upper limit. So in this case it is 15. Next one, it will be 25. So because the class size, that is the difference between the upper limit and lower limit, is 10, the difference between the class marks that you get over here will also be 10. So the class mark difference will remain constant, but the difference or the gap between the two, which is over here, that class size 10, will vary based on the difference between the the upper limit and the lower limit. In this case it is 10, so 15, 25, we don't have to calculate for each one of them. Next one will be 35, then it will be 45, then 55, 65 and 75. Now that we have got our class marks, our next step is to assume a mean, and to do that what we do is we take a number that lies in between this class mark. So we have how many observations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So fourth observation usually comes in between. But what if there are even number, that is if there are 8, let's say instead of 7 we had 8 over here, then you could have chosen either the fourth observation or the fifth observation, doesn't matter, because you will be assuming any one of them. So a number that is in between, a class mark that lies in between these numbers. So now I will take 45 as our assumed mean. So once we take that as our assumed mean, we can write over here as A. We can separately make a note of it down. Now that we have taken this as our assumed mean A, next step is DI. So this is an additional step compared to the direct method. So DI equal to xi minus A. Xi is this, A is this. So for each of these class marks you have to do that. So this would be 15 minus 45. So 15 minus 45 comes to minus 30 and not positive 30, because you have to take the sign of the greater number, and in this case the greater number is negative. Okay, you can do you can do it separately if you can't do it orally or mentally. That is, do 15 minus 45, then 25 minus 45. This will be 20. Once again, if you notice that the difference between the values that you get for DI is 10. Next one will be 0, because it will be 45 minus 45. Then it goes into the positive territory, because xi becomes greater than the A, or the assumed mean. So 55 minus 45 will give us positive 10, 65 minus 45 will give 20, 75 minus 45 will give 30. Now that we have got our DI, next step is to multiply DI into Fi. For the shortcut, for the direct method it was Fi into xi. For the for the assumed mean method it is Fi into DI. So 8 into 30. Now you may not know the 30 times table or the 20 times table. What you can do in this case is just multiply the digit that is there in the tens place. So 3 into 8 gives us 24, and that would be minus. Do not forget the minus sign, and this 0 is there, you just put a 0 at the end. So 2 into 6, 12, minus sign, 0 behind. 1 into 15, 15, minus sign, 0 because of this. Then you have 0 because 0 into anything else will give us 0. Then 10 into 9 gives us positive 90. And 2 into 13 gives us 26. Then this, put the 0 behind and it's positive. 3 into 8 is 24. Put the 0 behind. So this way you get FIDI. Okay. Next step is to get the total of this FIDI and get the total of this FI. Okay. The reason why we need to get the totals is because of the formula that we need to use. And the formula for finding mean using the assume mean method is mean x bar equal to A plus sigma, that is total of FIDI, upon sigma, that is total of FI. So we need to find the sigma of FI. And this comes to 72. And sigma FIDI comes to positive 80. Once again, now I have already calculated this and put this over here, but if you want to know how to calculate this thing, please do not take this together. The easier way to do it is club all these negative signs values together. So that would be minus 240, minus 121. Add them up. When you add them up, you will get a particular value. For in this case, you will get 240 plus 120 gives us 360. 360 plus 150 will give us 460, 510. And do not forget the negative sign then. So minus 510. Here if you take 260 plus 240 gives us 500. 500 plus 90 gives us 590. So 590 minus 580 will give us so 590 minus 510 will give us positive 80. So that's an easier way. So club all this together, add them up, and club all this together, the positive sign, add them up. When you add this together and you add this together, it becomes easier. Then you only have two numbers for subtraction, like a usual subtraction. Otherwise, you may end up doing some mistakes. Now that we have got sigma Fi and sigma FIDI, let's put these values in our formula. Also, A that we have not written over here but assumed over here, we can write it separately. So I will write it over here that A is equal to 45. Now let's use this in the formula. 45 plus sigma FIDI, which is 80, whole thing upon 72. Okay. So first I look to divide this. So I get 8 ones 8. So 8 into 10, 80. 8 nines are 72. And what I get is sigma x bar equal to 45 plus 10 upon 9. Now this I can write as x bar equal to 45 plus 9, 1.11. You can do the division the long way to find out the answer, but this is what you will get. So finally we get the mean as 46.11, and that is the answer for this. We have done the same problem, if you notice, for finding mean by the direct method. Okay. However, in this case we applied the shortcut method or the assume mean method. So important part, as the method says, you have to assume a mean, and on that mean what we do is, the reason we do is, if you notice, the numbers become smaller over here. FIDI, before we were multiplying 15 into 8. Okay. In this case we are trying to reduce the math that we are doing by decreasing the numbers. Makes it a bit easier to calculate and find out the mean. Just a one step additional that we need to do, but this is how we find the answer using the assume mean method. So if you have liked watching this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends and classmates, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and keep watching for more such videos. Thank you.